The next part we're going to do tonight is the investiture ceremony of our 2023 senior counselors. A lot of the gentlemen in red shirts here that you see were at one point gray shirts. The gray shirts were blue shirts. We have had a lot of time to grow through this program, as these gentlemen have over almost 30 years for each of them. We're now going to do a ceremony that will give your city its guidon. The guidons are what look like a flag up here that will be the one that will mark your city everywhere you go. And here's the way you know a short history of the guidon. An individual holding a flag and standing behind the leader and off to the side in either direction and a little ahead of the group is considered the guidon bearer. That is never referred to as a flag. It will always be a guidon. The display of the guidon is a time-honored tradition. Historically, and this has been used in battles for centuries ahead of us. The guidon is time-honored. It was used to mark where a unit was. It is used to alert the commanding general to the disposition of the units that are in the battle, which ones are struggling, which ones are doing well, where they're located, whether they're available, whether they're down. But the couriers always knew that the unit's guidon stayed with the commander. And soldiers used them as a rally point after engaging in an action. If the battle fell apart and there were soldiers spread everywhere, they looked for the man holding their guidon, and that's where they gathered. Because of the nature of modern warfare, they're not used anymore. Communication is more sophisticated, techniques are different, and you actually now don't want to mark where your officers are with a guidon. Nevertheless, the guidon is used extensively in garrison operations, and it's a way of commanders to raise morale within their groups. And if you've ever been to a parade that had a unit of soldiers in it, they were following a guidon. It's a great source of pride, and it is used still by every branch of the service. The guidon bearer is the most valuable person in the formation. It is a high-intensity position that requires discipline, knowledge, rigid attention to detail. It is an honor, although sometimes a dubious one, to be the guidon carrier for the unit. He stands in front and alongside the commander and is the rallying point for troops to fall into formation when the order is given. Here's what you remember: where the guidon goes, so goes the city. There are some rules about the guidon. No one touches the guidon but the guidon bearer. No one touches another city's guidon ever. No one uses the guidon in a disrespectful manner. You will be given your guidon tonight, and please remember this: where the guidon goes, so goes the city. The boys' state now will have the roll call of their county. If you are in Patrick County, would you stand, please? It will be on your badge. Thank you. Will Drake County stand? Will the members of Moore County stand? Thank you. Be seated. You will now be given your guidons. And we will start with Bloxham City. Bloxham City is named after past Department Commander John Bloxham. Their senior counselor is Mr. Blake Smith. Bryant City. Bryant City is named for the past department commander and National Executive Committeeman Bobby Bryant. Ching City. Ching City is named for past Department Commander Jimmy Ching, Senior Counselor Mr. James Linbaugh. Gott City, named for past Department Commander Ron Gott, Senior Counselor Mr. Jesse Honick. Quincy City, named for past Department Commander Don Quincy, who is with us tonight. Senior Counselor is the Honorable Marion Fry. Nonamaker City. It's named for past Department Commander George Nonamaker, and the Senior Counselor is Eric Hamilton. O'Leary City, named for past Department Commander Charlie O'Leary. Senior Counselor, Hollis Griffin. Roan City, named after past Department Commander Don Roan. Senior counselors are John Clayson and James Height. Smith City. Smith City is named for past Department Commander Tim Smith. Smith City has been the City of Excellence for the past 2 years in a row. Their senior counselor is Director Emeritus, Mr. Clay Ballinger. Mr. Steve Payne, our flag officer.
Color guard post. Retire the colors.